Hey, Amaris Linda's Lifestyle. Hey, niece. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. Where are my thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers? Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook and YouTube versions of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts and my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Did you guys have an amazing day today? Did you guys have a productive day? Hey girl, hey. Hey boy, hey. Did you guys have an amazing day? Who had a rough day today? And you glad to see the end of the day? Who had a rough day today and just glad that the day is over? Well, guess what? It all happens as it should. Amen. Amen. Tracy Ruff Bailey said, am I supposed to be ordering something? Well, girl, we got coffee mugs and books and stuff. Listen, I made it to the gym today. I'm sitting here with hot nuts. Hot nuts. I haven't gotten in the shower yet. But guess what? I had showered before I went to the gym, so it's not that bad, I promise you. Is this the one right here, Sean? Is this the one I'm doing? Ooh, somebody said they went to the doctors today and the doctor told them they had heavy ankles. I'm sure they didn't use my words, but hey girl, hey. Hey boy, hey. Listen, these are kale chips. Hey Octavia Rivers, hey niece. Mantra ordered some some mugs today. She can't wait to get them. I was leaving the gym today, and this little black lady was at the exit or entrance. Thank you, Dominic. He said he's going to be purchasing his book once he comes to the New York show. The Queen's Supreme Court live show will be in Chicago. We're doing a brunch March 10th. I'll be doing a reading and a signing on Sunday, March 10th. The details are on my website, CraigTheWriterStewart.com. And then that Monday, March 11th, we're doing the Queen's Supreme Court live show. And then we'll be in New York, Easter weekend. So that's Sunday. Easter Sunday, we'll be in New York. I'll be doing a signing there as well. And then Monday night, we're going to be doing the Queen's Supreme Court live show. These are kale chips. Like kale, but like potato chips. They good, I'm telling you. Cheryl Gale says she's getting her book tonight after the live. She's going to get it off of Amazon. Listen, these are so good. They're so good. This little black lady was selling them. This is her business. Isn't the packaging nice? Look at the packaging on that. She got all of the nutritional facts back here. Listen, put down them potato chips that you ain't got no business eating no way. That's why you got them heavy ankles. All that salt. And it's swelling your feet. You know, you can't even take your feet off at work. Can't even take your shoes off at work because you're not going to be able to put your shoe back on because your feet going your foot just going to expand like a sponge. So these are spicy curry, but she also had ginger. She had regular kale chips. If you've been following me for a while, you remember I made some at the house. I made some kale chips at the house one day. But these are very good. She sells them here in Atlanta. They're all natural. They're gluten-free and they're vegan. They're gluten-free and they're vegan. Her name is, this is the little paperwork. I don't even know this. No, I don't know this lady. Some of y'all think I just be promoting stuff. I'm just telling you because I enjoyed the chips. And I wanted to, you know, I'm very adamant about supporting black businesses as often as I can. And the reason why I try to support them as often as I can is because there was a time that people didn't support me and I just needed a little support. And people who could have helped me didn't help me. So now that I'm in a position to help my damn self, Cheryl Gale says she wants a signed copy of the book. Well, niece, here's what you do. If you want a signed copy of one book, it's $20. $236, $354. My Cash App is TheWriter. And then just email me, bookthewriter@gmail.com. Or just go to my website, www.CraigTheWriterStewart.com, and send me an email and say, look, niece, I sent you money through the Cash App. I want my books. So just one book is $20, $236, $354. My Cash App is TheWriter. If you don't know how to do that, then go ahead and send it to Walmart. I'm Craig Stewart, Atlanta. And then I'll go on over to the Walmart and pick up your coins. Now, I'm not sending your books, though, until I verify that the money is there. But back to what I was saying. So, yeah, I don't know this lady. I was on my way out of the gym, and she had the sweetest little face. And I walked up. She caught eyes with. I caught eyes with her, right? And so I could tell that, I don't know if people supported her today or not. I don't know. But you know how when somebody is kind of beckoning you with their eyes? And so I kind of looked. The information is going to be in the details of this of this video. So down in the caption, you'll see it, how to get the books and all of that. So I looked over and I was about to leave the gym and something said, the spirit had quickened and said, go over there and talk to that lady. So I walked over there to her and she smiled and I said, hi. And I said, did you have to pay to have this table here? Because we were at the gym. And she said, no, I didn't have to pay for the table. I said, okay. She said, well, thank you for asking that, though. I said, well, listen, this is what I want to do. I said, tell me about your chips. She had I think it was 3 or 4 different flavors. Like I said, she had sweet garlic, she had ginger spice, and she had the original kale chip, okay? And so I was just like, okay, is this your business? No. I said to her, is this a black-owned business? She said, it sure is, 100%. I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and support you because I make a concerted effort to support black businesses as often as I can. Amen. So anyway, I said, are you the owner? She said, I am. And I said, well, listen, I host a podcast too. I said, I may bring you on my show if you're interested. She's located down in Fayetteville, Georgia. That's south of the city. And so I'm going to try to get her to come on here. She said, what's your name? And so I said, well, girl, how much are your chips, girl? Niece, this bag right here. Now, I know some of y'all are cheap as hell. And I know they're about to turn up their nose right now, but I'm going to tell you how much they cost anyway. Girl, this bag right here was $8. American dollars, not pesos. But, you know, I know that's kind of how much kale chips cost. And see, that's why y'all be buying up them Utz potato chips. And them Lays with all that salt and stuff on them. Because, see, they be $1 or 3 for $5. But, see, you got to think about this lady. She's a business owner. She's a small business owner. Look at the packaging. Look at the detail in the packaging, niece. She got to pay for this. And then you got to think about her time. And she's over there making, you know, because I made some on my own one time. And you got to season them and stuff. And then you got to put them in the oven on the pan. You got to put them in the pan. Look at Rita. She's talking about $8. Girl, how much you pay for them Benson & Hedges cigarettes, though? She's talking about $8. What are cigarettes, $12? So anyway, it's $8. She got a bag that's not. She got a $4 bag, a $6 bag, an $8 bag, and a $9 bag. Basically, it goes from $4 to $9, okay? And so, anyway, they're very good. They're very good. I'm not knocking your sodium snack, niece. I'm just saying, listen, you can't take your sneakers off when you get to the gym or to your job because, you know. So anyway, I wanted to support her, and so I got these, and, you know, she had a little Cash App ready. And so she had a card, too, but anyway, I just went on and Cash after. And I bought it, and I told her I was going to tell you all about it. But I'm going to try to bring her on the show. I don't see it. Oh, yes, I do. Here's a website. Val's Kale Chips. That's VALS. Like Valerie. Val's Kale Chips. So it's VALSKALECHIPS.com. www.valskalechips.com. Now, if you're in Atlanta, you can go down to 7 Under. You can go down to 7 Under. And you can purchase them. So again, you got to think about it. She had to split her profit with them. Belinda, I don't know how to add the super chat over here. I think I have to have 10,000 subscribers over here on YouTube for you to be able to do the super chat. That's why we're trying to grow the YouTube. Now, what is Bianca saying over here? And then I'm going to bring on Candy and Sean because we got some stuff to talk to you all about. Hold on, niece. Bianca's comment is buried. Look at Bianca talking about Lay's is only $2. Girl, get off of here. They are good, I'm telling you. Felicia, I didn't spoke to everybody. Niece, you late. She told me I'm too good to speak to everybody on Facebook. They swear I give y'all too much of my attention over here. No, I'm doing fine. The caption over here is just called Depression, Coping, and something else I call it. Depression, Stress, and Coping. I just want to talk about a couple of the things that are in the news. No, I'm not stressed. I'm not depressed. And I ain't coping with a damn thing. No, I'm just playing. But where's Candy and Sean? Send another message, girl. You're lost in the comments, girl. I can't even find your message now. Yeah, send me another one, please. I don't see it. I can't find it. But yeah, so she probably, no, they said she has a Facebook page too. See, my people over here, they be looking. I look refreshed. Good, niece, I should. I put a nice little thing on my face today. But no, these chips are really good, for real. They really are good. Now, if you into stuff like this, go ahead and support this lady. Oh, it's not giving me the option to bring you on from here. It's giving me the option to bring everybody else but y'all. It's not letting me bring you on from here. Sean. It's not letting me do it, niece. Selena says she got her water bottle today. Hey, girl, hey. You all are on Facebook, and these are my friends over here on YouTube. Listen, I take all the prayers I can get. You can pray for me, niece. As long as you saved. No, I'm just playing. These chips are good. I'm on my iPad over here. Sean. But it's not. Oh, here it is. It didn't give me the option a moment ago, but here it is. Y'all ready for this conversation?
Hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, boy, hey, baby.
Hey, niece. Girl, they got a delay over there in Chicago, girl. They got a delay over there in Chicago, girl.
We might be delayed, but baby, never denied. I know that's right. I thought your iPhone was shading us, or your iPad was shading us.
At first, it wasn't letting me bring y'all on, but then it was just like, oh my God. So listen, we've been planning to have a conversation. So if people over here on YouTube, you guys can hear, but I'm actually on the camera with Candy and Sean on this side. They are part of the Lesbiterian community.
Yeah.
They're a couple.
Come on, Pastor.
They're a couple. Yes, they're a couple.
Yeah.
And so we've been trying to figure out a time to get together to do another Facebook Live. And so today is the day. And so we've been trying to figure out what topic was a good topic to discuss. And I was saying to them, well, I don't want to talk about Jussie Smollett no damn more. And we were trying to figure out something that wasn't like LGBTQ related. You know what I'm saying? Because we want you all to know that we have other stuff to talk about other than that. Because we are well-versed Renaissance men and women So, Sean, I think you said that Candy may have something that she want to talk. Are we going to start with that, or do you want to start with the two news stories
No,
that we
I
were
was
talking?
saying that she may have a story to tell to intertwine with what we are going to be talking about, with depression and stress and coping
Okay.
and all that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, Cheryl, I got your Cash App, niece. Go ahead and inbox me your address. Thank you. So listen, so this is what we wanted to talk about. So I came across an article today. In fact, my friend Dante in California posted this article today. It was a young woman, 37,
Mm.
and I think she had a 10-year-old son. I think he was 10 years old. This was down in Florida.
Uh-huh.
She threw him off the balcony from like the 20th floor.
He was 5.
He was 5. Okay, he was 5. She threw him off the balcony from like the 20th floor. And I believe that the authorities found his body on like the 6th floor level or something. And she jumped after she threw him. And so they both were pronounced dead, of course, on the scene. And then another story that happened in my hometown in Baltimore, it was in an area called Perry Hall. This is actually close to my family. My mom worked at University Hospital for many years. She retired from there. And one of her coworkers, I love this lady. Like, her name is Miss Jackie. She has a daughter that's my age. Her daughter went away to Bennett College when I went away to Hampton. Her daughter got pregnant that first year, and she ended up coming home because she got pregnant. Her mom was devastated because she was like, "Oh my God, I sent her down there to go to school. She got pregnant." And what ended up happening was the baby, the child that she had, is now 20. She was killed on Tuesday night. She was shot dead in a car. They found her dead in the car, shot in her head. And so my mom called Miss Jackie, the grandmother, and of course she could barely talk on the phone. And I just thought about the irony of it here when her daughter got pregnant with this baby. Of course, it was such a burden and such a stress. But here, 20 years later, this same baby is now a young woman and was killed in the car. And so they're trying to figure out what happened with that. So we're calling this conversation like stress, depression, and coping. Because I think some of that, I don't know what is going on in Baltimore with all of this killing and all of that stuff. But what happened in Florida, I don't know if it was a mental illness case or she was very overwhelmed and she just killed herself. I don't know what happened, but I just wanted to kind of open up the conversation with all of you watching and listening, because I believe that we're all one bad decision away from making the same, we're all one decision away from making the same bad decision that someone else has made. So let me say this before we start though. There's a lot of interference. Can you hear that?
You sound muffled. I can hear you, but you still sound a little bit muffled, but I can hear you.
Okay, it kind of went away just now.
Right. Yeah, it just cleared up.
Okay, Facebook be doing shows.
Stunts and tricks. Stunts and tricks.
Right. It's like they need to get they need to get this capability together, this little FaceTime feature they got.
Right.
Is the sound good now over here, y'all?
It's a lot better. And it's not the delay that we had before.
Yeah, I don't hear the delay either. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you all are okay now. Can the people on Facebook hear us now?
Yeah, they're saying that it's clear now.
Okay.
And you guys, make sure you share the video. Please share the video.
Yes, please share the video. Okay, let us know if you need me to say some of that again. Did you hear what I was saying a moment ago? I know my YouTube people heard it because they're commenting and just saying, Craig, can I hear the sound that's breaking out? They're saying they still can't hear. Okay, now they're saying it's clear. YouTube is loud and clear, baby.
Right, YouTube, they gonna start getting a whole lot of business over there in about 5 seconds.
That's why I'm trying to get this YouTube following up over here.
Okay.
So did you all need me to repeat what I said? Did you guys hear what I said over here on Facebook?
I heard everything you said.
Okay.
Yeah, we heard it.
Okay.
We heard it.
All right, so what do you think about like this? Like, first of all, for me, just reading that article, it was devastating to me. Just like reading I just imagine, I'm such a visual person. Like I literally imagined, I'm thinking about the case in Florida. I literally imagined this woman taking her 5-year-old kid and throwing him over a balcony from the 20th floor. Can you just, first of all, I'm terrified of heights.
So I am too, but one of the things, because I know you and Sean were talking back and forth, and then she sent the news article to me, and then the first thing that I read that stuck out in my mind was that the little boy was 5, and I thought about our twins. Our twins are 5. Mm-hmm. They turned 5 in November, and so in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, the little boy would be the same exact age as Caleb. And it was just like almost putting myself in that circumstance. But to your point, we're all just one bad decision away, but it begs the question, what's causing this? Because it used to be a thing where people would say, well, black people don't do stuff like that, or these sorts of things would happen in the news, and we will be so far removed from it. But you've got so many instances where now it's happening to minorities, and more specifically, it's happening in our community. Yeah. And not to say that we were immune to it before, but it's starting to hit a lot closer to home. So it begs the question, with all these sorts of cases, everybody who knows the people that are involved always get up and say, there was no sign, we didn't see any signs of depression or that anything was wrong. So what is going on, and what are we as a community to do about it? And this is my thing as far as the case is concerned, because I saw the same thing where they said, oh, the family, they tell no signs of it, this, that, and the third. As parents, and a lot of the parents in the comments are going to understand where I'm coming from, being a parent is stressful, okay? Mm-hmm. Especially when you have competing obligations, things are going on, you're trying to take care of your children, and especially for single parents. I don't know if this young lady was a single parent or not. They didn't mention anything about a father, but some of the signs can be so small that you don't even realize it. It can be simple as she's been asking for somebody to babysit so she can just unwind and nobody will do it. I mean, it could just be little things like that where there's no sign, that's a sign. If somebody, if a parent is saying, hey, I need a break, that's a sign.
So somebody on YouTube is saying that a family member called 911 and made a report that she was depressed. And no.
She said that she had been talking about jumping earlier in the day.
Really?
Yeah. See, that's very specific. People don't just say, oh, I'm thinking about jumping. What? What are we talking about? Like, that's very specific.
Listen, I know someone personally who battles with bipolar disorder. And just as a disclaimer, just because you have bipolar disorder doesn't mean that you're suicidal. But this particular person has battled with bipolar disorder for years, and he struggles with depression and whether or not he wants to live. Like, he's contemplated it. He's gotten to the point where he was about to do it. He's never told me exactly what he was going to do, but in those instances, like, you really don't know what to say because he's already in therapy. So everything that I thought to say to him, he's already doing. Like, he's going to therapy already. He's on medication already. I mean, the only thing that I could do short of packing up a bag and moving in with him, I've done. You know what I mean? So, like, what else do you really do? But in an instance like that, like where this young girl threw her 5-year-old son over a balcony and then jumped. And like I just kept thinking, like, what was going through that little boy's mind. I started thinking about what if she had chickened out after she threw him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because I've read something somewhere. No, I'm lying. I watch A Million Little Things. I don't know if you guys watch that. That is one of my favorite shows on television right now. And it opens with a suicide. The first episode opens with a suicide. And there's a therapist on the show. And she says that, you know, of all of the people that jump off of a bridge, and I want to say it was the Golden Gate Bridge that she referenced in this scenario. She said, they interviewed, like, it was like some study, and she said that of the people who jumped off the bridge, there were about 10% of them that actually survived. And 100% of the 10% that survived regretted it after they jumped. But they fortunate and survived. But think about the 90% that jumped that didn't survive, that regretted it once they were midair. You know what I'm saying? So I kept thinking about that with this woman down in Florida. Like, what if she had a change of heart, so to speak, after she tossed this little boy over the balcony.
Yeah, yeah.
And to think about if that had been the case, to think about what she would have to struggle with every single day
Yes.
after losing her son by her own hands.
And she would have gone to
That
jail.
would, yeah.
Because it would have come off. It wouldn't have been just. It wouldn't have been a murder suicide. It would have just been a murder.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's really unfortunate. But I think about, and I've never considered suicide. Now I will tell you that I've been in some of the darkest times. It's been a very long time, and mine was related to my career and finances. And this is why I've said before, and I've written this before, that sometimes depression is broken faith. I think more times than not it is chemical, and I think that it could be like your serotonin's being low, and it could be a chemical imbalance. But for me, mine was broken faith. It was really this anxiousness that I had to make it, to survive. I was concerned about getting older and not really achieving all of the things that I had set my mind to do. I was thinking about my parents, and my mom in particular, getting older and not being able to witness the things that I said I wanted to do. And then comparing the best of myself to other people, like my friends, and feeling like they were seemingly, notice the word, seemingly were more blessed than me. So it was just this big old comparison. And so for me, my depression or dark times were really connected to that. And once I made that connection and stopped trying to force the current and stopped trying to manipulate success and trying to connect the dots to success faster or whatever it is, I was able to get control of it, over it.
Yeah, well, it's always been said that comparison is the thief of all joy.
Yeah.
And it really is true, because anytime you compare yourself to others, it's always going to be a perception, or it's always going to appear that the grass is greener on the other side until you cross the fence and you see what's on the other side. But I think a lot of people do fall victim to that. But I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what could have entered this woman's mind. I don't know what could have been done to prevent it. I don't. It really, really makes you nervous. But there's something going on in the atmosphere, and not to get biblical or spiritual, but it almost seems like it's something spiritual going on, or something on that realm, on the spiritual realm, because it's very, very unnatural, all of the stuff that's going on in the community, and it's everywhere.
Yeah. And for me, it was doubly disheartening when I was looking at all the photos that they were showing. It was all happy photos. Like, I'm sure nobody's going to dig up a bunch of terrible photos, but it just looking at her, she was a beautiful woman. The little boy was adorable. They showed him at a birthday party or something like that. It just seemed like, just on the outside looking in, everything was intact. So it's like, okay, there's got to be a backstory. Candy and I always say there's always a backstory. Nothing just happens just to happen. So it's going to know, for us, whether or not that backstory is going to come out is going to make it clear or not. Now, the family may just shut it down, and we may never know what the backstory was. But there was absolutely a backstory.
And, for me, I think a lot of people, they get, and again, I know that depression can be chemical. So I'm not speaking so much about that when I make the statement, but I think in the instances where the depression was more of a functional depression, I believe I had a functional depression. I don't think that I needed to be medicated. I was never medicated. And I believe that if you need to be medicated, then by all means do that. But I think that more times than not, people suffer from a functional depression because they're concerned about their bills, concerned about losing their house or their car or whatever. And one of the things that I've always managed to kind of remind myself is, if today was the last day of my life, would any of this matter? Would like the mortgage payment matter? Would the car payment, at the end of the day, let that shit go. Because part of the lesson, what I've learned is part of the lesson is releasing it, surrendering to whatever comes your way. And if it means losing your house and going to get an apartment, then go ahead and do that, because the lesson in growing that's going to grow you to the next level is sometimes surrendering. but a lot of times we can't do that because we're too busy trying to save face and we're concerned about what people are going to think if you go from this 4-bedroom house to a studio apartment. Or if if you have to repossess your car is repossessed, how are you going to tell people, how are you going to explain to people that you're now using Lyft and Uber? Like, it's like, why do you care about that? Like, why are you concerned about that? You can't worry about what other people are going to think.
Exactly. Yeah, because I think the older I get, the way that I handle things. Like so many people, like some of my friends be like, you don't seem like you don't care. It's not that I don't care, but if it's not taking my life, then I'll figure it out and I'll move on. And so I used to be that same way. Oh, what are people gonna think? And I can't do this, or what if I don't have this, or what if I go to this place and I don't have a nice this, that, and the third.
Right.
At this point in my life, I'm just like...
Because you're so busy trying to explain. You're already worried about the story and how you're going to explain it. Like, how am I going to tell? What's the story going to be behind it? Even in terms of relationships. You have people that fall out of relationships and, you were so excited about it. And then as soon as people ask you about it, you're afraid to say, well, it didn't work out. Look, it didn't work out. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? But you're worried about what the narrative is going to be. How you're going to explain it away.
That's it.
Absolutely. So, but I think that a lot of the stories and a lot of the headlines that we see, we've seen several of them in the past few weeks in our area, with the Aurora shooting because the man got fired and just a lot. Like you said, it's a matter of not knowing how to cope. It's a matter of the signs being there and people have ignored them because I'll take it very personal. I have a cousin who has a mental deficiency. We don't know exactly what it is, but for so long we just kind of shrugged it off like, oh, it's okay, or that's just the way she is, or this, that, and the third. And I think that as a community we have to start realizing that we have to really pay attention to and really call a thing and not be ashamed of that because there's nothing wrong with that. It's just somebody that just needs some additional attention or some additional help or what have you, but you trying to explain it away or say, well, that could never happen to my family or what have you, then that's how you end up with these situations. So some of the situations that we see time and time again.
And I think what happens with us, when I say us, I mean people of color, and I don't mean that with just respect to black people. I mean that in terms of Hispanic people as well. We've often thought of suicide as such a white thing. That's something white people do. You know what I mean? Because we've been indoctrinated to think that everything can be handled by religion. Now, for all of my zealots that are watching, all of my religious zealots that are watching, I believe that God is all-knowing and all-powerful, and I believe that God is my refuge. But religion is a separate thing. Now, I am very spiritual. I'm not very religious because I think religion is always about power and the control of man and the control of the mind. But spirituality is about God and your connection to the universe and moving through the world. And I believe that your conscience is God speaking to you. It's your compass to guide you through life and every decision that you'll ever face. But I think that we've been conditioned to think that, oh, you just read your Bible, and everything is going to be fine. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that it's more than that. I think that, prayer is your connection to God, and prayer allows you to cope. Prayer is a tool to help you, is a mechanism to help you get through things. But I also think that you have to put certain tools in place, whether it's counseling, whether it's medication, whether it's a support system. I often talk about having a tribe on my channel. And when I say a tribe, I mean having your people, your friends, your family, your support system that's going to anchor you. That's going to anchor you. And I think that sometimes we've been made to think that suicide is just not something that we do. And I think that's why we as a people internalize things and it manifests as a heart attack or high blood pressure or an aneurysm or, whatever it is. It manifests through our health. It's not just our diets that, causes us to have these issues. I think it's the way that we handle stress, or the way that we don't handle stress.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, and I'm guilty of that. I mean, Sean and I think we've shared with you before. We have an insurance business, and there's certain elements of our business that are very, very stressful, very time consuming, very stressful, and it's not uncommon for me to work 60, 70 hours a week, and I internalize a lot of things because there was one point in our relationship where Sean was like, "Look, if it ain't the kids, we talking business, and at some point we have to draw the line, and I want us to get back to us. So instead of me bringing home, releasing that with my partner, I would just keep it in." And so then I started having chest pain and was suffering from migraines and going through all these different things. And it's like I slipped into a little bit of a depression, and it just became so much bigger than it had to be. But it was just one of those situations where people have to have some sort of release. And you can't, like you said before, you have to call a thing a thing. You can't internalize things. You got to control the controllables. Everything else you have to release to the universe. Because at the end of the day, if it's not this business, trust and believe it'll be another one. Okay.
And I think that as we as a people have acquired more, it's become more difficult for us to face losing it.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So, for example, like historically, as a people, we haven't come from a lot, right? So when we faced times in this country where it was like the Depression, like the Great Depression, or recessions and things like that, we've always been able to manage. At least on the surface, we've looked like we've managed, because I think mental illness. I really do think that depression is a form of mental illness, and I think a lot of times it's brought on or it's encouraged by our lack. Our lack. I really do think that it can be a mental stress and challenge trying to figure out week to week, month to month, year to year how you're going to survive, how you're going to able, how you're going to pay your bills. I really do think that trying to make those mental leaps and jumps and like figuring that stuff out consistently, I really do think that causes a depression. And again, I believe that depression is a form of mental illness. But we traditionally or historically have come from a people that haven't really had a whole lot. So losing hasn't really been a big thing for us because we ain't really had shit to lose. But now we are acquiring things, we own businesses, we have property, we have, whatever. And sometimes losing it, we're not able to cope with it. It's like we're afraid to go back to not having it. So that's a part of the reason that suicide has risen in the Black community as well.
Yes. Now, are you able to hear us?
I can hear you, but I hear that hum again. I hear that fuzz again.
Okay. Because we can see you and we can hear you, but I think we're like frozen or something. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
We'll fight through. Hey, you can hear our voices, so it'll be just like a podcast. It's fine.
Right. Yeah, it is. What about now? It's kind of going in and out, but I see my little YouTube audience is growing though, because they done left Facebook and they went over here.
Come on, YouTube.
Okay. They saying they can't even see y'all over here.
Okay.
Let me. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drop off, and then you can try to invite us back on and see if that fixes it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. They're gonna try to drop off and come back. Let's see if it'll work. We're gonna see if that's gonna work. I hope you guys can hear the majority of what we're saying, though. Yeah, Facebook is tired. Like, y'all got all these features and stuff over here, and y'all want to be shutting people down when you hear music in the background, but you can't get this shit right. I know, and see, this is a mess. Let me see. I need them to put a comment in here. Okay. We're going to try this one more again.
We're back.
We're back.
Yay.
Okay.
We have a YouTube channel. YouTube needs to find a way where you can do videos together. Then that would be dope.
Right.
That's it.
Facebook need to get it together. But I do want to kind of talk about this whole this other thing that happened, like I was saying, some of you didn't hear me, so I'll just kind of briefly say it again. One of my mom's girlfriends that she worked with for many years, her daughter's daughter, so my mom's girlfriend's granddaughter, was shot and killed, excuse me, on Tuesday. She was found in the car with a bullet wound to her head. And I wanted to kind of talk about that because I really do think that, again, this depression thing that we're talking about and this mental illness, I really do think that a lot of that is tied to a lot of this gun violence. Here we go again.
So do they know who did that to her?
So was it self-inflicted or was it?
No, it wasn't self-inflicted. It was definitely a murder. They're investigating it now. I was asking my mom if she had a boyfriend, because, sometimes, it could be one of those crimes of passion, as they call it. But she was 20. She was 20 years old, and she was shot and killed in a car. But I think that sometimes this violence where people are just shooting and killing is really because they are in a deep depression. And again, I believe they're suffering in some way. And it's just like this anger swells up. And it's swelling up in so many urban cities around the country, whether it's in Chicago or Baltimore or wherever. I really do think it's a thing of, I don't think it's just that people just want to be violent. I do think that it's,
We can hear you.
you can hear me? Okay.
We can hear you.
I really do think that it's a matter of people not having enough and just becoming desperate. You know what I mean? And just snapping. Now, I don't know what happened in this case, but I just think that it's really tragic. I think it's really sad.
Especially when her being so young.
I know
20.
Lola just said it in the comments. She said she was a baby. She was a baby.
She was a baby.
20 years old. She had her entire life ahead of her.
Right. And so my mom called her grandmother the other day, and she said, Craig, I couldn't. She said, my mom just literally told me this today. She said, like, she said, Craig, I couldn't even understand what she was saying. She said she was just devastated. She was just crying and just, it was just awful. But somebody over here on YouTube said post-traumatic slave syndrome explains it all. Yeah, I definitely believe that there's a post-traumatic stress that's happened.
Wow. Yeah. There's so much lack in our community that it's so multi-layered.
Yeah.
You got the mental illness. You got people who have been dealing with drugs. All these drugs are laced. You have economic conditions in our community. You have, it's just, oh my God, it's just so many layers. There's so many layers. So we've had conversations privately. We've never really had a public conversation. But Sean and I have literally scratched our head trying to figure out how are all these issues resolved, because they're so multi-layered. What would be a logical solution for our community?
Yeah, because there's not that one thing that you can point to and say, that's it, so let's fix that. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happened in Perry Hall, which is a section of Baltimore County. But yeah, and I think that's why I really do. I think that there will always be some sort of mental illness, just like I think there will always be some sort of homelessness or whatever. I think there will always be certain ills in the world, no matter what. I don't think we could ever cure everything. But I think what could happen to subside some of this, where it comes to people of color and not having enough, it really is just about spreading enough of the wealth around. And I think that's why I try to support us as often as possible. Because some people just need a shot. They just need an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And it could really make the difference in life and death for some, because you just never know how thin that thread is that a person is holding on to, how thin that thread of hope is that they're holding on to. And like in the case with this woman, I don't know this lady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what that woman's circumstance is. She could have just gone through a divorce. She could be staying at somebody's house. You know what I mean? I don't know what is on the line for her. And I just think that there are opportunities where we could support people or just care about people just a little bit more than we do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it becomes infectious you know, if you care a little bit more about a person, then there will be somebody that will care a little bit more about you. But I just think that sometimes we're just so vacant. We're so emotionally vacant because we're so busy. We got our stuff going on. We trying to do what we're trying to do, and we don't have any time to do. You know, I don't have time to fool with you and what you got going on. You know, so I just think that we just have to care a bit more, and that's why on here I joke a lot. But I'm serious when I say this. Don't be going to work tomorrow getting on nobody's goddamn nerves because you had a bad day. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know what somebody is going through. You know, and like when I'm in the car and I'm looking at other people in the car, you know, like folks have road rage and they're cussing. Like, you just don't know what these people are going through. Somebody could be going through a breakup. Somebody could have just gone through a divorce. Somebody could have just lost a child. Like, when I move through the world, I'm just thinking about how there are 1 billion stories in every single day. There are a billion stories in every single day. And you don't know what's going on with these people, you know, with anybody. And so you're just going through, and so you just never know. I mean, even when I look at like homeless people, like, I'm always wondering what's the story behind their homelessness. How did they get there? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a story behind it. And I always wonder what the road, yeah, and I always wonder what that road was that led them to homelessness. Was it mental illness? Were they hardworking and they lost everything? Did they lose a family member or a wife or a child and then they just gave up on life? Like, what was it drugs? Like, you just never know. Like, you can't just group people and just assume that everybody that's homeless is just out there because they trifling and they don't want shit.
Right. So I was telling Sean, I had a call earlier with a customer. This lady had called the office and she was like, "Hey, I want to go over my insurance. Call me when you have some time. I want to go over everything with you." So I look over everything before I call her. I called her and I told Sean, I said, "Ooh," I said, "I see her and her husband don't have life insurance with us. Let me talk to them about life insurance."
Mm-hmm.
So I go through everything. By the end of the conversation, this is no lie, this woman done told me her husband was paralyzed from the neck down. He was an amputee. She told me her grandson was 34, used to live with them. A year ago, yesterday, he committed suicide. She walked into his room, seen him hanging. I'm sitting on the phone. By the time I was done with the conversation, no lie, I was sitting there crying. Sean walked in the room because I was working from home. Sean walked in the room and was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I just called the woman to sell her life insurance. I don't know what the hell done happened." But she done spun this thing around to the point where, like we literally just said this earlier, you don't know somebody else's story. And just when you get ready to complain or think your life can't get any worse, again, going back to God, not to get biblical, but for God, there go I. You know what I mean? Like you just think life just can't hand you anything else, and you always hear somebody else's story. You be like, "My God!" Yeah. And this woman was just like, "Yep." And tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm like literally on the phone, stuck. Like, where do I go with this conversation? But I was like, wow. But yeah, I said all that to say there are a lot of people out here that's just going through. Yeah. Just going through, and I'm a firm believer, going back to the mental illness, I think mental illness has always been there, and I agree with you. I think it's something that we'll always deal with in our society, but it just seems like everything is worse now. I keep going back to everything is worse now, and it begs the question, why is everything worse now?
I think it's because we can kind of see it more too. Social media has done an amazing job of making the world feel so much smaller and closer together. So if somebody dies of depression or there's gun violence, you can see it right on your social media. You can see it on your timeline on Facebook or Instagram. So it feels like it happens more often than it was happening before, where before we just didn't have a record of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there are times that I look on Facebook and I'm like, okay, somebody got breast cancer, somebody just died of whatever, there was a suicide. Like, sometimes you just go in there and you can just see so many horror stories. And you're just like, well, bitch, is anybody doing okay?
Right. Yeah.
Is anybody doing okay? You know what I mean? But also, I think social media contributes to the depression. I read something one day somewhere, and it was saying how social media causes some people to be depressed because you scrolling through looking at other people's lives, and they got you thinking that they living this amazing life and they doing so much better than you when they've just propped themselves up under good lighting and a
Put
filter,
on the filter.
and
Oh,
you and
everybody.
and you sitting there feeling bad about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there feeling bad about yourself because you looking at somebody's Snapchat filter that they didn't put over on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But part of the reason why I have started doing yoga, like I do hot yoga. Now for years I didn't understand it. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna be sitting there with my legs crossed for no whole hour. But that's really not what it is. That's really not what it is. It really is an opportunity to kind of really calm, just really kind of calm yourself. And when I first started doing it, and if you decide to start doing it, it is a way to kind of center yourself and to really kind of pay close attention to yourself. That's something that I've been saying at the end of my videos too. Pay close attention to your life. Get down on your knees, say your prayers. Even if you don't believe in God, just get down on your knees, sit down, just reflect on your day. Just bring the day in. Just think about everything that happened in your day. And so for me, when I started doing yoga, my mind would wander. Like I'd be thinking about what I was gonna eat when I left yoga. I'd be thinking about what I was doing right before I got to the yoga class. You know what I mean? My mind, I'd be looking around the room at everybody else. But once you get in there and you really start committing to it and start doing it, your mind really will start to slow down. And so you don't have to go to yoga, even if you just do it right here in your own house. Well, not here in my house, but in your house. But even if you, even if you just take a few moments.
I'm coming over there to do it.
Right, don't come over here. Don't be getting all up on my pillows. But but if you just take a few moments, just take a few moments and just really just kind of calm yourself and just kind of breathe it all in and just breathe it all out. And just work on the things that you can fix and the things that you can't, you just say, I surrender it all. God, universe, whatever you want to say, what is it that you would have me do? What is it that you would have me do? Like, I've done what I can do. Now I need you to I need you to work your thing. You know what I'm saying? But you can only do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find things that are going to be good for you. It could be a body massage once a month. And I can hear somebody now saying, well, ain't nobody got no money for no body massage. Yes, you do. Go on over to Groupon. Put them cartons of cigarettes down. Trade in them cigarettes for a body massage, huh?
That's it.
But you got to find ways to decompress. You got to find ways to shut the world off and shut it out. Cut that TV off. I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I got a TV out here. That's it. And like I say to you guys all the time, you guys think I be laughing and being shady. I kind of do. But, you know, when I be saying to y'all, there's certain programs that I don't watch and there's certain people's stuff that I don't watch. I have to pay close attention to the stuff that I allow into my spirit. I got to keep my chi in order. Like, I be joking and laughing, but I mean that shit. I got to keep my chi in order. Some of y'all are listening to all these heartbreak-ass songs. You got to listen to some of them good songs. Put on some Desiree, You Gotta Be. Gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be like you put on Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. Like you gotta feed your spirit. And when you listening to that K Michelle, now I ain't got nothing wrong. I don't have anything against K Michelle. But if all you listening to is them heartbreak songs and that Mary J. Blige and everything is about heartbreak, all of the TV shows that you watching, because you watching Basketball Lives, you start to ingest that stuff, and then that stuff manifests in your life. And then you're afraid to be in a relationship because all you doing is watching Basketball Wives, and the narrative on that show is cheating and lying and getting over. So you got to be careful about the energy. So you got to monitor what you bring into your spirit, okay? Get you some Super Soul Sunday every now and then with Oprah. You may look. You might feel like that's too deep for you, but just turn the TV on while you move it around the house. Trust me, your spirit is listening, and you might not be actively listening, but your spirit is listening. Your spirit is open and it's ready to receive. Girl, I done got hot sitting here in this track jacket.
Come on, Pastor. Get comfortable.
Girl, I done got hot in this little track jacket. But but seriously, and all jokes aside, like you really have to find ways to feed your spirit. For me, working out is just not about trying to maintain a physical appearance and all that stuff. It really is about my wellness. Because when I go to the gym, that is my time. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Because I don't need no phone calls or text messages while I'm working out. Even if I don't get a really good workout, that's my time to just kind of exercise my mind and just kind of just just process it all. So you got to find things that are going to that are going to nurture you.
Yeah, because I mean it's a cycle. What you put in is what you get out, and what you put out is what you get in. I mean it's reciprocal. So I mean you have to think about what it is that you are surrounding yourself with or putting within and all that. I mean it just is what it is.
Right.
Yep.
And so and then sometimes you have to spend time with yourself.
That's it.
I go out to eat by myself. I go to
Right.
yoga by myself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you're in your car, turn the music off. Just drive in silence.
In silence.
Just drive in silence. So practice it tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, drive to work in silence. See, some of y'all listen to that hard music in the morning, and you get to work, and you are angry with everybody, and you don't understand why.
Or the ratchet club music because they're trying to get hype for their day.
Yes. Yes. Or take baby steps. Because I know now we are you in the pen pal group, right? So I'm in the pen pal group and I see a lot of the things that people post. And some people are on one end of the extreme, being like you, where they don't eat meat and they live a very healthy life. And other people smoke cigarettes, eat pork, all of that kind of stuff. So you got people on opposite ends of the spectrum. I am very much on the opposite end of the spectrum from the folks that eat healthy, but take baby steps. Because you don't know it, but you inspired me to give up pork. I haven't had pork
Really?
In a long time.
So it's one of those things where I might not necessarily be a member of the vegan club, but you have to take baby steps.
Adjustments.
You have to do whatever it is that you can do. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, when you do change your diet, and I'm not saying you got to go full vegan. I know everybody's not going to go vegan or pescatarian because I'm pescatarian. I still eat seafood. I know everybody's not going to do that, but even when you make subtle changes to your diet, I promise you, your mind even clears up from your diet.
It does. It does.
It really does. It really does. So, I mean, hopefully you guys heard something. Are there any questions in here? Anybody had any questions? So, did you want to weave something in there, Sean? Candy? Or it didn't work its way in here?
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to talk about any of the stories that you witnessed, but I think we pretty much covered everything in our topic matters.
Oh, okay.
About, stuff happening in depression.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah, we intertwine some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any questions? And I also, look, I know we said we were going to make this a gay conversation, but I even think that I think there's a post-traumatic stress that comes in the coming out process.
Oh, yes.
I talk about that in my second book. And Sean has a book, y'all.
I do.
Tell the people how to get your book, niece. Tell them what it's about. It's erotic poetry, but go ahead and fill them in.
Oh, it's not poetry, Gregory.
I mean, not poetry. It's erotic short stories.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to read the.
Gregory. As most entrepreneurs do, they always seem to have something near them. So if you're interested in my book, okay, it's called Voyeurism. It's a collection of short stories. It is an erotica book. So for those that need a little tantalizing, a little spice, a little something interesting to read, there you go.
A little help in your intimacy.
I've gotten several inbox messages from people who say that it has put a spice back into their life. So go ahead and get that. You can get that from our website, candyandsean.com. You can also purchase it through my Cash App as well, which is Candy and Sean. That's our Cash App as well. And I do autograph, and it does come with a bookmark as well. So in case you get too excited and you need to come on back a little bit later, you don't lose your spot. Okay? So
Okay.
there you go.
Yes. If you're not following us, follow Candy and Sean on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
And for our people that are over here, please make sure you follow Craig. And if you're in the Chicagoland area, make sure you come on out and see him, because he will be building in Chicago on March 11th, right? 10th,
Yeah,
11th?
March 10th and 11th, yes.
So there you go.
But somebody asked over here on YouTube, is there a hotline or depression hotline number? So I just Googled one really quickly. If you miss it, you can always just Google depression hotline number or something like that. But you can text 741-741. You text connect. You text the word connect to 741-741. Okay? But you can always Google like an 800 number and it'll come up if you need to talk to somebody or if you know somebody who needs to talk to somebody. But
Absolutely.
but yeah, did you guys have any questions? Sean, somebody posted, Patricia McGee posted Candy and Sean's website over here on Facebook.
Oh, thank you, Patricia.
Somebody said you can also call 611.
There you go.
You can also call 611. Any questions, guys? Anything else? Go ahead.
I don't see anything.
I don't see any questions either. You don't have to be shy. Maybe you don't want to ask here, but hopefully we said something that will click or connect for you. You may be depressed and may not even know it. You may be functionally depressed. You might be moving through the world, smiling and grinning at your friends and family, but really inside you're just kind of blue. The YouTube, Michelle, is CraigTheWriter. Just go to youtube.com and then in the search box type in CraigTheWriter, all one word, and it'll come up. And then just hit subscribe.
Okay. So so I think we are frozen again on your side.
It is.
If there not be anything else, we definitely appreciate you having us on tonight. I enjoyed the conversation because I think it's one that a lot of people are afraid to have.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to have. So we definitely appreciate it.
Yes,
So
and thank you.
Tell everybody, again, I know you said at the beginning of the video, but can you tell all of our people that joined as well and the people that are watching as a playback where they can follow you, where to find your books, and any upcoming events that you want them to attend?
Yes, my social media is Craig the Writer Stewart. My website is CraigTheWriterStewart.com. My Instagram is Craig the Writer Stewart. My YouTube is Craig the Writer. Okay, I'll be doing a reading and signing in Chicago, March 10th. That's at the brunch hosted by the Queen's Supreme Court. The details are on the Eventbrite, but you can get those from my website too, CraigTheWriterStewart.com. And then Easter weekend, I'm going to be doing a brunch with the Queen's Supreme Court as well, a brunch reading and a signing. And then the Queen's Supreme Court live show is Monday night. But those details are on my website too, CraigTheWriterStewart.com. So thank you very much. The books are available everywhere you can buy books, Amazon, Audible, all of that good stuff.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Craig.
You're welcome. And let's not wait so long the next time.
Okay, you just
I know. We need to get back on a regular schedule.
I know. But yeah, we definitely will do that.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
You're welcome. And have a good night too. I'm saying you're welcome to some of them up here on YouTube. All right, listen. You guys have an amazing night. I love you too, Gina Cleveland and Tiffany Smith Bell. You guys have an amazing night. Hopefully we said something that's going to trigger you to think differently about something, your life or the world. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue. Don't forget your oil pulling. I did my oil pulling today. Now, I know I haven't said this a lot lately about the oil pulling, but I still oil pull. Sam Smith, I love you too. Listen, I still oil pull. Get your oral health in order, niece, because your oral health is connected to your overall health. Huh? Yes. So brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue. Get down on your knees and say your prayers. Even if you don't believe in God, just get down on your knees and just take a moment. Just sit still. You only have to get down on your knees. Just sit still. Sit still. Candy and Sean is Candy, and Sean is Chaun. That's how they spell it. And they have it, Candy and Sean. Oh, somebody has a question over here. Is it my angel? Oh, I don't know how to say that. How do you say that? You're welcome, Peaches. Somebody over here on the Facebook had a question. Hey, Antoinette Mitchell. I think they're typing their question, so I'm waiting for the question over here. But pay attention to your day. Every day, you got to reflect. If you have kids, you need a few moments. Look, sit down somewhere. Let me go over here in this closet and sit down for a minute. Let me get my mind right. Like, you got to get your mind right every single day. You got to recalibrate. And even if you don't do it every single day, you got to take a moment like once a week, once a month. You got to recalibrate to make sure all systems are go. How do you deal with functional depression with a functional depression person? You mean in the context of a relationship? in the context of a relationship, or are you functionally depressed? I do sometimes, P. Marshall, do ask Craig. I haven't mentioned it in a long time, but you can inbox me on Facebook, or you can email me. My email is bookthewriter@gmail. And usually what I do is I respond to it, and I'll usually share it anonymously. I won't ever say who it's from, but I'll share it anonymously on my Facebook so that, hopefully it'll help somebody else. Um, so I'm waiting for a response over here. So is it a functional depression that you're dealing with somebody else, or is it your own functional depression? So I can really respond to it. But I'm about to go over here and listen, for all of you people that eat late at night. Look, it's 10:13. I'm about to go eat again. But guess what? I'm about to saute some Brussels sprouts with some onion. You see my mouth watering? And I'm going to saute some mushroom and onion. And I got some, I may not do the mushroom. I'll do the Brussels sprouts. No. I'm not going to do the Brussels sprouts because I don't feel like chopping that up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to saute some mushroom and onion. And then I'm going to steam some broccoli and cauliflower. I'm going to season it up really nicely. I used to let y'all see me cook and stuff, but I got these 2 cameras now. That's too much to navigate. Okay, so he or she, I don't know if this is a male or female because there's no picture there. I've been sick, 31, have had 5 heart attacks. Oh, wow. 15 heart stents, went into respiratory failure, coded. Now I have a trach. Got a little kale up under mine. Okay, let me say this. Here's what I would say to you. I don't know if you're already in some sort of a rigorous therapy, but I would definitely say that you need to speak to a good counselor, a good therapist that you can speak to on a consistent basis. Oftentimes, insurances, and I don't know if you have health insurance or if your job would cover something like that. If you work, I don't know if you work. But I would say a lot of times your insurance will pay for a therapist. I would say that you would have to have a rigorous therapist, somebody that is really good at what they do, somebody that's really present in your sessions. Because I went to therapy when I was going through my functional depression, and it wasn't nearly close to what you're going through. And that lady wasn't even present. I write about that in my first book. She wasn't even present. She'd be half falling asleep. So you need somebody that's present, because the weight of what you're going through is too much for your friends and family. They can be a support system for you, but I think that would be too much for them to try to be an ear for you as often as you need. Because you know how it is with your family and your friends. Sometimes, you could be going through a breakup and you might need to talk to them for 3 days in a row. And they're like, girl, you still talking about that? Look, can we talk about... Sometimes your family just can't be there as often as you would want them to be, or your friends. So I would say you need a very, very good therapist. Somebody that you can really talk to on a consistent basis. And my final suggestion would be, if you're not on medication, some sort of an antidepressant. And it doesn't even have to be like a pharmaceutical type thing. It could be a natural antidepressant. Something to kind of just lift your serotonin levels. But I would even consider some sort of a medication, because that's a lot to carry. And I'm not the person that's going to say to you, well, just pray about it and ask God to take it away. Because yes, I would say pray, but in support, something to buttress, there's your word, something to buttress that prayer, you need some sort of a support that you can feel and touch and smell, and, you can actually activate. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in prayer. I'm not saying that I don't believe in prayer. What I'm saying is sometimes you need something that you can feel and touch right now until the prayer manifests. So hopefully that helps. But I would also say, if you haven't already, even if you don't have health insurance, or you can't afford a therapist, try one of these 800 numbers and keep calling until you get somebody that knows what the hell they're saying. But a lot of times through these depression hotlines, they have people who have been where you are. So if you can get to somebody that can talk to you from that kind of a perspective. But the other thing too is you might want to try to find a support group in your city, an actual support group that you can maybe go to, you know what I mean, and be present. So hopefully that helps. I know everybody listening will say a prayer for you, say a special prayer for you. Hopefully that your spirits will be lifted. But yeah. And here's what I'll say to you. And I know this might be tough. This might be a tough one. But ask yourself and the universe and God, if you believe in God, what is it that I'm supposed to learn from this? What is it? What is this? What is all of this designed to teach me? How is this designed to grow me? I'm going to give you this little quick story real quick, and then I'm going to get off of here. My mom is diabetic, and she is now on dialysis. And I believe everything that happens to us right here in the physical realm, right here on earth, it parallels a greater reason in the spiritual realm, right? I'm going to explain what I mean. So in the physical realm, right here on earth, my mom is on dialysis because she smoked all of my life. I'm 42. She's only been smoke-free for 2 years now. So she smoked for at least 40 years. So she's on dialysis because her diet wasn't what it should have been. She smoked all of those years. She didn't make the best health choices and decisions for herself. So in the physical realm, that's why she's on dialysis. But in the spiritual realm, I believe that she's going through the process of dialysis because God, the universe, needed to teach her some things. And some things you can only get through certain experiences and lessons. And I've talked about this week. God, the universe, however you want to call it, knows how to get our attention. And he knows how extreme it has to be to get our attention. And sometimes for some people, it's through their health. Some people, it's through a miscarriage. Some, it's the death of a child. Some, it's a divorce. Some, it's losing your house. Sometimes it has to be so extreme to get your attention. And so in the case of my mom, I don't know you, so I don't know what the situation is with you. So this is why you have to ask, what is it that you should teach me? What is it that this is designed to teach me? In the case of my mother, because I've known her all of my life, I believe that a part of the reason, yes, she's on dialysis because she didn't take care of her health, but I think in the spiritual realm, she's going through this process because she had an inability or difficulty accepting help from people. And through the process of dialysis, she has no choice but to rely on people and count on people. So you have to ask yourself, what is this designed to teach me? What is this designed to grow me? All right? So that's for everybody listening. That's for everybody listening. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for being here at 9 o'clock, Tuesday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I appreciate you for supporting my books. I really, really do. I don't take it for granted. Every single day that I wake up, I promise you I think about it. Every single day I think about it. I think about how grateful I am that there are people out there that are supporting my work consistently enough that I get to choose what I want to do. And that's my wish and my hope for all of you, that you are living the life that you want and that you get to do what you want every day of your life. You know, so if you're in a career that you don't want to be in, or if you're in a relationship that you don't want to be in, get out, niece. Get out.